What's up, everyone? Shane here from R&S TCG. I just got something in from a buddy of mine. Shout out to Justin. Thank you, man. I appreciate you sending me this. So I want to do a little review of it. It's called the Card Slinger. So what this is, if you can't tell, you set your phone up on here, and then you slide the cards in down here, and you use an app like Delver Lens or one of the many apps out there that takes pictures of the magic cards and puts together a list for you and puts their prices in there and whatnot. So what Justin did for me is he pulled up the 3D printer files online for the Card Slinger, and he made one of these for himself. I'm sure he's probably made a few others, and he hit me up and asked if I wanted one, and I said, hell yeah, I'll take one. So yeah, I just kind of want to show you what it is. So this piece comes out here that your phone sits on, and you can set it in different positions depending on where your camera's located on your phone, so it's more centered. This is what works best for my Samsung. Inside the box here, there's a secondary box to make it easy to get your cards out of there. You do have to take this out and use it just this way if your cards are in penny sleeves, I have found, which that's fine. You can pop those out easy. Got the hole in the bottom to pop the cards out. Yeah, it's very well constructed. He did a good job with this 3D printer. Happy with it so far. I've tested it just a little bit. We'll do a test run here on film so you can see what it does and how well it works. I only have one minor gripe about it, which I plan to remedy. With it being 3D printed, this is textured right here. The cards sometimes don't want to slide real well in. They get caught up and you kind of have to push them a little bit more with your hand. Not the end of the world. This is still a lot faster than, you know, the old method of having your phone out and trying to take a picture and then move the next card, and you know, everything's steady and centralized and it just works well. Apologize here, I had shoulder surgery, so I'm kind of working with one hand, so for what it's worth. So let me get that kind of centered here. Let me grab my phone. We'll go ahead and scan some cards here. So I'm using a Delver Lens. Ow. So we'll get that there. Let's go ahead and make a new list. Let's call it test 3 because I already did a couple of tests. Create. It's going to pull it up into here, and then when I'm ready, yep, it's already playing, so I can start pumping some cards through. So see, they kind of get stuck just a little bit. Just kind of right here on the edge. So I think if I sand this down just a little bit, it would help with that. All right. The next cards I have, let me pause that. The next cards I have are all in penny sleeves, so I'll show you how that works with those too. Let's go ahead and pop this out. And again, at least to get the cards out, you can just push them out because that has the hole in the bottom. So let's get the phone back up on here and get this all back centered again for the camera. Okay. So let's go with these ones. Oops. Guess that's why I hit play. Okay. Yep. See, registers it through the penny sleeve. These don't get caught up as much because they got the sleeves on them, so they slide a little bit better. That's why I'm thinking sanding this down a little bit will help. Some heavy hitters here. Reserve list / banned cards here. So some of these cards aren't going to show price when we go over here, but if we go over here, you'll see, we'll start from the first ones we scanned. You'll see Tezzeret, it's saying $32, but I don't think that accounts for foil. I don't think the app can tell if it's foil or not, so I believe if I go here, I can change it to foil. Yep. So it actually changes it to, there it is, $34 instead of $32. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, Exalted Sunborn, $21.50 it says. Demonic Consultation, $12.13. Famished Worldshire, $4.97. And then, of course, the Stone Throwing Devils, Invoke Prejudice, Imprison, and Jihad all show no prices because officially they're banned by Wizards of the Coast in any format. You know, the racist cards. So nobody shows pricing for those anymore. If you want to find pricing on those, you basically have to go on eBay. Is what I've done. Go on eBay, look for sold auctions, and then you kind of get an idea of what they're valued at. But anyways, that's not really the topic of our video here. But yeah, just want to show you how this works. And then if you want to add more cards, you just go back over here, hit your play again, and you can go back to adding more cards here. Some oozes. So, and then it just adds it to your list. And yeah, of course, none of those are worth anything, but yeah. So overall, I'm really digging this. Thanks again, Justin. I mean, this is pretty awesome. So I got to say, I'm going to be using this a lot, I think, for the business. Be real easy to make card lists because with any of these apps that you scan the cards in, you can export those card lists as a file as well. So there's just, a plethora of things that I can use this for that I would normally have to do by hand, and it's just not feasible without this. So thanks again. And then I want to show one other thing that Justin printed out and sent me. This is pretty cool. So this has a D6, a D8, a D12, a D4, a D10, and a D20. You press it, it spins, and then when you let go, ends on a number. So in this case, if I was spinning a D20, I would have just got a 5. I would have got a 7 if it was a D10, and a 4 if it was a D4. And it would have been a 4 with a D12, an 8 with a D8, and a 4 with a D6. And it's just right when you let go, it stops. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Thank you again for sending this to me, Justin. It's pretty cool. I got to show the guys this coming Sunday when we meet up for our draft and see what they think of this. See if they want to give this a whirl instead of us rolling a D20 to do our matchups and figure out who's playing first. We might tinker around with this. So thank you again, man. This is pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that, and we'll see you next time.